there's something you can do about that. Like if you're concerned, you can get your information blacklisted, something like that. I've never did it. I might do it. That way, if your information shows up, you're securely contacted and to see if you approved of something. If, whether whether you're trying to purchase something or if you're here or if you're there. I've had people steal my information and rent 4-star hotels. That was a few years ago, and I don't know how they got my information. But here recently, the strategy has been to send fake emails. They look like the real thing. They look like the legitimate thing. And so that's one of the things to pay attention to. But, it's not a bad idea to learn from my example and, consider setting up better, secure internet connection, network, firewall, security settings on your computer, and potentially switching over to Linux. Like I said, there's a learning curve, and you may need to get more familiar with both hardware and software and operating systems and how to go about this. But in the end, it may serve you well. It's not too complicated. Like I said, there's simpler forms of Linux. This might be a simpler form. But it kind of depends what you use your computer for and what might be beneficial to you specifically in using it. But like I said, I don't really want to have to spend a bunch of money because computer components aren't cheap. I've built some expensive ones in the thousands of dollars before, but of course I sold them because I didn't use them enough to justify possessing them or having them. And but I did run a bunch of tests and benchmarks and stuff of that nature to see what they could and couldn't do. But at one point I was considering building an AI computer, but I just opted not to do it. Some of these computers, they have such powerful processors and graphics cards and other aspects of, that make them stable, that, you can run a lot of, like in engineering and research, for fluid dynamics or using 3D modeling software for structural engineering and things of that nature. You can use them for that. Like I said, if you build a computer, you need different hardware and different software and software programs to accomplish things. If you want to do video editing, there's video editing software. If you want to do 3D animation, there's software for that. And there's not necessarily one computer that does all these things, but you can build a computer geared towards what software you plan on using. Some of them can serve multiple purposes, but some software simply just benefit from other hardware components versus other ones. And so Windows sometimes can be a problem with some of that, with constant updates and both from the software program and the operating system. One may update and change features and others not up to date to be compatible, and then sometimes a new update enables a certain new feature. It's just changed, and then you have to dig through Windows to find out what's turned on or what's turned off, and to change that. And for the latest version of Windows doesn't support this software. It just, there's a number of things. Stuff like that's constantly changing, and ever since the pandemic, electronic components, graphics cards, motherboards, processors, power supplies, RAM, memory, the prices fluctuate. At points they were 3 or 4 times as much as MSRP. I mean, it was just outrageous, and couldn't acquire them and things like that. That's your chip shortage. But I don't really do that much anymore. That was just kind of a phase, a thing I did for a while. In our day and age, you gotta kind of be familiar with this stuff more to keep up to it, because just so many things require a lot of stuff like this, emails, apps, online stuff, and if you're going to use computers, you have to stay up to date pretty much on stuff. But yeah, there's ways to simplify it, but sometimes you have to learn more than what you need to do what you want, and then you're good for a while until they update it, which about a year or 2, and that's it, and you gotta get back up to speed, so to speak. But yeah, so I got this ready. I didn't get to do a few things I was planning to do with the Honda today. I couldn't get up early enough. I was just too tired. I didn't go to bed till like 8 a.m. this morning, and I was very tired when I did. I got up at like 1 or 2 or maybe 3. I don't know. I think I woke up a few times before I actually got up. But, yeah, so that's where we're at. I've been trying to get this out of the way so I can go back to my other projects. Another project I gotta work on is my air conditioning. It's not but like a year, maybe 2 years old. I think it's just a year old. I don't know. But I don't think it's blowing air, but not cold air. So I gotta check. It's still brand new. It only gets a little bit of use during the summer. But so that may be something else we, get into and see if we can't fix that thing, because it's starting to get warm finally, and a window fan just ain't gonna cut it when it gets real hot. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. That's the current update. But the next thing, I'm kind of waiting on some stuff before I do it, because I don't have all the tools I need to clean the carburetor, clean the jets. I still need to wash the thing, but and it'd be good to have a pressure washer, but it's not really necessary. I just need to clean the engine off and stuff, and some of those connectors, electrical wires, and do some cable management. I need to change the differential, the transfer case, the engine oil filter. The air filter may be fine, but we're going to address those things, and then the plan is, Lord willing, then we address the brakes and the steering components. I think the shocks are fine, but we just want to get all this mechanical functioning correctly. We'll get out there and do some work. And the weather's nice. It's just this, and I still need to get a few things. I gotta get a small air compressor because I don't have one for cleaning out the jets. Because if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right. It's not. I need a little small air compressor too, pump the air. Not a big one. I kind of need a big one. if I move to doing work on my truck, which I plan on doing work on it. I don't know that I'm going to install the cylinder heads because it's sitting out there in the driveway. I can do it that way. I don't know how my landlord feel about